Ladies and gentlemen, queens and warriors, today I want to talk to you, the one who loved fiercely, gave selflessly, and trusted blindly, only to be played. Yeah, he played you. He made promises he never intended to keep. He used your heart like it was disposable, and now you're left with the pieces while he moves on, like nothing happened. But let me tell you something that I learned, not just as a woman, not just as someone in the spotlight, but as a human being who's been through heartbreak. You don't get even by breaking down. You get even by rising up. You get even by becoming so powerful, so successful, so radiant that your very existence becomes a reminder of what he lost. See, darling, regret is not born from revenge. Regret is born when he sees you walk into a room head high, heels higher, owning your truth, unapologetically. Let him watch you build the life he said you couldn't. Let him hear your name in rooms he'll never be invited to. Let him scroll past your wins and realize that he was nothing but a plot twist in your story, not the ending. And don't let that pain harden you elevate from it, because being played, it doesn't make you weak. It makes you wiser. It makes you sharper. It makes you unstoppable. I remember when someone broke me. I mean broke me, and I thought maybe I'm not enough. But then I realized I'm not just enough. I'm too much for the wrong person. So to every woman out there who's ever been betrayed, disrespected, dismissed, I want you to repeat after me. I am not broken. I am rebuilt, rebuilt with gold in every crack, fire in every vein, and purpose in every step. And to the one who played you, don't waste your breath. Your success is the speech. Your glow-up is the revenge. And your peace, that's the punishment. So go ahead. Live so boldly, love so deeply, and dream so wildly that he has no choice but to regret playing a woman who was born to rule. True revenge isn't loud. It doesn't look like chaos or retaliation. It doesn't come from bitterness or destruction. Real revenge is quiet. It's dignified. It's the way you rise from pain and rebuild yourself into someone stronger, smarter, and completely untouchable. When someone plays you, when they manipulate your emotions, disrespect your trust, and take your love for granted, the instinct might be to lash out. You want them to feel the pain they caused you. You want to show them you're not someone to be messed with. But here's the truth. That kind of reaction only keeps you tethered to their toxicity. It gives them power over your story, and you were made for something so much bigger than revenge soaked in anger. The real power lies in reinvention. It lies in the quiet mornings where you get back up, put your feet on the ground, and decide you're not going to let someone's betrayal define your worth. It's in the way you pour into yourself, whether that's through healing, learning, creating, or simply existing in your truth. When you choose to rebuild, you take back control. You take back the narrative. And that right there is where regret is born, not from your rage, but from your glow. Imagine the person who played you watching you thrive, watching you walk into rooms they'll never be invited to, watching you smile, not because you've forgotten what they did, but because you've outgrown the version of you that let it break you. That's the kind of regret that lingers, because suddenly they realize they weren't just careless, they were foolish. They didn't just lose you, they lost someone irreplaceable, and the hardest part for them to accept. You didn't need revenge to prove it. You needed nothing from them. You didn't post about it. You didn't beg for closure. You didn't fall apart publicly. You simply rose, and that is the kind of revenge that lasts forever. Because you don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to attack to be remembered. Your evolution is enough. Your success, your healing, your peace, it all becomes a mirror they're forced to look into. And what they see staring back at them is the most painful truth of all. You were never the one who lost. They were, so rebuild not to show them what they missed, but to remind yourself of who you've always been. That's where the real power lies. Pain has a way of shaking us to our core. It feels like the ground beneath you has cracked open, and everything you believed in, every word, every promise, every moment, suddenly feels like a lie. When someone plays you, it doesn't just hurt your heart. It attacks your confidence. It makes you question your instincts, your value, your worth. But here's the unspoken truth. Pain, when faced with courage, becomes power. It becomes the fire that forges your strongest self. The hurt you're feeling right now, it's not weakness, it's transformation in progress. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of anger or silence is a step toward discovering your strength. You might not see it at first because strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just the decision to get out of bed, to breathe, to choose yourself one more time. That choice, that quiet, consistent choice is where power is born. Being played doesn't mean you're naive or foolish. It means you loved with sincerity. You gave someone the chance to rise to the occasion, and they chose not to. That's a reflection of them, not you. And now you get to take that pain and use it. Let it become the reason you protect your peace more fiercely. Let it become the reason you elevate your standards, your boundaries, your energy. You've been through the fire. Now you get to emerge with flames in your eyes and clarity in your heart. Your power doesn't lie in pretending it didn't hurt. It lies in owning that it did and showing up anyway. You are not broken. You are becoming. Every setback, every disappointment is teaching you something vital. That your soul is resilient, that your heart is capable of healing, and that no one, no matter how charming, how persuasive, how temporary, can ever take away your essence. And one day, when you look back, you'll see that the pain was the turning point, the beginning of your rise, the moment you stopped waiting to be chosen and decided to choose yourself. That's the real plot twist. That's where the story shifts from heartbreak to hero. So don't silence your pain, let it speak. But let it speak powerfully, let it mold you, not define you, because the same pain that once threatened to break you can be the very reason you become unstoppable. Let it light the way, let it make you unshakable. There's a special kind of silence that comes with success. It doesn't need to shout, it doesn't need to prove anything. It simply exists, undeniable and brilliant. When someone plays you, your first instinct might be to call them out, to demand accountability, to make sure they know exactly what they did. But true power doesn't move that way. True power is when you let your growth do the talking. When you let your wins speak louder than your wounds, that's the real response, the one they can't ignore. Success has a voice that echoes longer than anger ever could. It's not about showing off, it's not about making anyone jealous. It's about creating a life so rich in meaning, joy, and purpose that the person who once underestimated you, mistreated you, or manipulated you is forced to sit with the consequences of their own actions. Because while they chose to play games, you chose to level up. While they focused on controlling the moment, you focused on mastering your future. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to prove your pain to anyone. Let your healing be seen in how you carry yourself, in how you no longer react, in how you build a life that has no space for their energy. The moment they realize they no longer have access to you, that's when the regret sets in. Not when you cry, not when you beg, not when you break, but when you rise silently and steadily and become the version of yourself they never saw coming. It's not about revenge, it's about redirection. Channel the energy they tried to destroy into everything they never believed you could do. Start that business, launch that passion project. Travel, learn, evolve, laugh louder, love deeper, starting with yourself. Because your glow-up isn't for them, it's for you, but it just so happens that it speaks volumes to those who once tried to dim your light. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing someone realize they played themselves by playing you. And you won't even have to say a word. Your joy, your peace, your success, it's all the closure you'll ever need. You don't owe anyone a breakdown or a dramatic ending. Just keep moving, keep shining, and keep showing up for yourself. Because when success becomes your response, there's no comeback stronger than that. There's a moment after someone plays you where you start to question everything, especially yourself. You replay conversations, you overanalyze your actions, and you start to wonder if maybe you were too much. Too emotional, too intense, too honest. Maybe if you had held back, they wouldn't have left. Maybe if you were smaller, quieter, easier to love, they would have stayed. But let me tell you something that will change your perspective forever. You were not too much. Their capacity was too little. You were not the problem. You were the storm and the sun, the truth and the fire all at once. And some people, some small, uncertain people, don't know what to do with that kind of energy. They mistake depth for drama, strength for threat, love for weakness. And instead of rising to meet you, they try to pull you down to match their level. They play you because they're intimidated by what you bring to the table. It's easier for them to devalue it than to admit they couldn't handle it. Being too much only feels like a flaw when you're with someone not built to receive your kind of power. The right person won't ask you to dim your light. They'll be drawn to it. They won't be afraid of your ambition, your independence, or your emotions. They'll honor them, they'll match them, But until that person comes along, your job is not to shrink. Your job is to stand tall in your truth, to know your worth even when others can't see it, and to stop apologizing for being real in a world that often rewards the fake. When someone plays you, it's easy to internalize the rejection, but their actions reflect their limitations, not your excess. You are not too emotional, you are in tune, you are not too intense, you are passionate. You are not too honest, you are brave, and anyone who made you feel otherwise never deserved access to the full force of your heart in the first place. So don't tone yourself down. Don't try to become more palatable or convenient. Keep being the bold, brilliant, deeply feeling force of nature that you are. One day, someone will thank you for not changing. But more importantly, you will thank yourself for holding on to your fire. Because you were never too much for the right person. You were just a masterpiece shown to someone who couldn't see past their own reflection. Your story, every moment of it, is yours to own. The good, the painful, the beautiful, the messy. When someone plays you, when they betray your trust or misuse your heart, it's easy to want to erase that chapter from your life. You want to pretend it didn't happen. You want to skip past it, bury it, forget it. But the truth is, there is power in the parts we try to hide. There is strength in embracing the entire journey, not just the polished parts we show to the world. The mistake people often make after being played is trying to rewrite their story to avoid shame. But there is no shame in being open, in being real, in believing in love, even when it goes wrong. There is no weakness in vulnerability. In fact, the most powerful thing you can do is stand up and say, yes, I went through that. Yes, I was hurt, but I'm still here. You don't owe anyone a perfect narrative. You owe yourself honesty and healing. And that begins by refusing to be defined by what happened to you. And instead being defined by what you choose to become because of it. Your scars are not blemishes, they are badges. They show that you felt deeply, loved fearlessly, and survived something that tried to break you. So don't hide them, wear them with pride. Because every heartbreak, every betrayal, every disappointment is shaping you into someone more grounded, more aware, more powerful. You are not the same person you were before, and that's not a tragedy. That's evolution. There's something magnetic about someone who owns their story without apology. You can feel it in their confidence, in the way they walk, speak, and show up in the world. That's what happens when you stop running from your past and start standing in your truth. You become unshakable because no one can use your past against you if you've already embraced it yourself. So let them talk. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think they got away with something. Because while they're stuck in the old chapter, you're already writing a new one. Louder, stronger, freer. You've got nothing to hide. Every line of your story, even the parts that hurt, led you here. And here, this is where you begin again. Not weaker, but wiser. Not quieter, but bolder. This is where your truth becomes your triumph. There is nothing more powerful, more unexpected, and more satisfying than finding peace after being played. When someone betrays you, manipulates you, or takes advantage of your love, the initial instinct is to respond with anger. You want to scream to make them understand the depth of what they've done. You want them to feel the same pain they caused. But that's what they expect. That's what keeps you connected to their chaos. The most powerful thing you can do, the thing they never see coming, is to choose peace instead. Peace isn't passive. It's not pretending it didn't happen or suppressing your feelings. It's the conscious decision to stop giving them space in your mind, your heart, or your future. It's waking up and choosing to protect your energy, your joy, and your healing every single day. Peace is power. It means they no longer have access to your emotions, your reactions, or your attention. And trust me, that stings far more than any angry message or emotional outburst ever could. People like that, they feed on drama. They want to know they still affect you, that they still have some control over your emotions. When you stop responding, when you stop explaining yourself, when you let go without noise, they lose all of it. They're left with silence, and in that silence, they're forced to confront the truth. You moved on, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. That's where regret begins, not when you shout about how they hurt you, but when you stop caring enough to speak at all. When you stop seeking closure and realize that you are the closure. When your life becomes peaceful, fulfilled, and full of joy, it becomes a mirror, And when they look into that mirror, what they see is everything they lost and can never get back. Your peace is their punishment because it's a reflection of your growth and their failure. It shows that while they chose games, you chose evolution. While they brought chaos, you built calm. And there's nothing more painful for someone who tried to break you than realizing they didn't succeed. So protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Let it be your armor, your boundary, your comeback. You don't need revenge. You don't need an audience. You just need to live so fully and freely that they can't help but feel the absence of your light. Because peace, in the end, speaks louder than any words ever could. Thank you.